month, the gaming world gets blasted by everything between some really creative and innovative stuff and, well, corporate cash grabs. And every month, GameRanks gathers up all the biggest stuff, the stuff that people are going to be talking about, and delivers it to you on a silver platter. Hi, folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanks, the top 10 new games of August 2025. Starting off with number 10, it's Lost Soul Aside. Basically a fast-paced action RPG by a studio in Shanghai led by Yang Bing, backed by Sony's China Hero project. You play as a resistance fighter on a mission to rescue his sister after a dimensional invasion. In a lot of ways, this is kind of like if you cross Final Fantasy with Devil May Cry, which obviously Final Fantasy has already done. Final Fantasy 16 is very much that. But it's also just a different take. Where Final Fantasy 16 went Game of Thrones, this is, it's full-on following that track that Final Fantasy 15 took. I don't know, I think it looks like a pretty good game. It's a nice flashy hack and slash game with some pretty good looking graphics and, well, it got delays for polish, so let's hope that's exactly what happened. Lost Soul Aside is coming to PS5 and PC August 29th. At number 9 is Endless Legend 2. Amplitude Studios, which is founded by some Ubisoft guys, bought by Sega in 2016 and bought itself out from Sega last year. They're bringing us the sequel to Endless Legend, the cult classic 4X. I'll say the release is a little strange. They're putting out a limited early access on August 7th, and then doing a full early access about a month later in September. I think there's a likelihood this is being done to perhaps excuse some bugs, because, that's not the real launch. But I'm going to regard it as the real launch, even though not all of the content is going to be there. It's a bit of a weird move, and thus that is how I am going to regard it. That being said, Endless Legend is a great 4X. There are more than a few people who call it among the best 4Xs, and a lot of people who have had some hands-on time with Endless Legend 2 have called it better than the first. So even though the launch might be a little non-standard and might be a little bit in service of, I think, maybe not having a completely finished project to launch, if it results in a good game by the end of September, hey, who are we to complain? Endless Legend 2 hits PC Steam Early Access in limited form August 7th. You could call it a demo, but I would not call it a demo the way this is shaken out. At number 8 is Bendy Lone Wolf, putting you in the shoes of Boris the Wolf getting stalked by the Ink Demon. This one's a top-down roguelike, which is pretty outside what you would expect for a Bendy game. What's interesting is this game is kind of already out. It's a pretty significant reworking of Boris and the Dark Survival, which is kind of a spin-off game from the Bendy games. Looks very similar, obviously, but they've added a lot more roguelike elements. They've also strengthened up the narrative arc, added a hard mode, polished the combat. What's interesting is Bendy Lone Wolf is going to be available on PC, PS4, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch on August 15th. But if you want to play the previous version, which sounds like it's... I haven't actually played, but it sounds substantially different, but kind of the same, like in terms of the base idea of it. It might be an interesting thing to compare, and Boris and the Dark Survival is only $2.99 on Steam right now. Allegedly, it is going to replace that game on Steam, according to everything I can find. So, it may be a comparison that you need to do soon if you're interested. Otherwise, Bendy Lone Wolf, like I said, is coming August 15th. But devs are doing some weird stuff with releases this month. We're 3 games in, and we got 2 of them got something weird about how they're being released. At number 7 is The House of the Dead 2 Remake, the cult classic light gun shooter from 1998, following agents James Taylor and Gary Stewart as they battle zombies in a plague-ridden Italian city. The game has gotten a full makeover by Megapixel Studio. It was originally slated for spring, but it's going to be landing on PC and Switch August 7th. Honestly, I think if you're looking for the, full light gun experience, the PC version's probably the way to go. The Switch uses gyro controls rather than light guns. And don't get me wrong, it's not bad or anything. Like the first House of the Dead remake, perfectly playable with the gyro controls. However, a USB light gun on the PC, it's the same as the old games. So on August 7th, when you pick this one up, for any platform, whether it be PC or Switch or any of the other consoles, because they do have this game on other consoles, PlayStation and Xbox will have the House of the Dead 2 Remake. I think the PC is just the way to go, though. That light gun support, it's something you need. It's how these games were built. And number 6 is Shinobi Art of Vengeance, a stunning hand-drawn 2D platformer brought to us from Lizard Cube, the same studio behind Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap and Streets of Rage 4. You play as Joe Musashi, you come back to find your village totally turned to stone, and then you decide to go out and get your vengeance. That's the whole thing. It basically looks like we're returning to the old school Shinobi style game, except it's a Metroidvania, I think. And whether it is or isn't a Metroidvania, if it's just got those vibes, I don't really care. I loved the old Shinobi games. Don't get me wrong, I didn't hate the 3D one when they were trying to sort of cop on Ninja Gaiden. That was fine, but I'm really psyched that there's a 2D Shinobi coming out. It's landing for PC, the PlayStations, the Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch, August 29th. And number 5 is Gears of War Reloaded. It's the original Gears of War, fully remastered, and out not only on Xbox, but on PC and PlayStation 5. This is a full remaster. It's got the Ultimate Edition DLC package and a bonus act. There was a community beta for the multiplayer that got pretty good buzz, actually. So, if you remember Gears of War multiplayer, it was a hell of a lot of fun, and having that back, I mean, there's no way for me to play that currently. So just having that back, I'm pretty excited. And it'll be at 120 frames per second. I'll take it any day. Gears of War Reloaded is landing on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation August 26th. And number 4 is Sword of the Sea, which comes to us from the creators of Abzu, the Pathless, and of course, Journey. Giant Squid is basically bringing us Surf Journey, or maybe Skate Journey. So you're armed with a hover sword, which is a sword on top of also blending a snowboard, a skateboard, and a surfboard. Now, I'm not completely sure that it's purely linear. Apparently, exploration is a very large element of this, according to people who have played it. So I don't really know exactly what to expect, but I can tell you from the trailer that it looks like a lot of fun. I loved Journey. Journey is one of my favorite things made. So, of course, I would like to play another Journey-like thing. And it looks like they're really trying to update the Journey formula here, and I like that. Sword of the Sea is coming to PC and PlayStation August 15th. And number 3 is Dying Light the Beast. Kyle Crane is now back as a half-human, half-monster hybrid. See, back in the day, you thought he was dead, but no, he was captured and experimented on. Whether he was rescued or he escaped, it's doesn't matter. He's now got werehog powers. And yes, I'm making fun, but not because the game looks bad. It's because I just love bringing up the werehog. The way Beast Mode is powered, you siphon DNA off of defeated enemies, and that allows you to pull off all of these crazy special attacks that are brutal and savage and all that sort of stuff. In a lot of ways, I am not sure whether I expect this to be a full sequel, like if this is the direction the series is going in, or if this is kind of a spin-off or maybe alternate series that may also have its own sequels. I don't know, but I am absolutely excited to play it. It does look great. I would guess a lot of what happens in the future with Dying Light the Beast will depend on how well it sells. It's looking pretty sweet. It's landing on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, the most recent generation anyhow, on August 22nd. Last-gen version's coming later in the year. And number 2 is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Woo-hoo-hoo, the big guns come out. So, it's been a long time since this game came out, and it's never looked this good, obviously. This is a full-ass Unreal remake built entirely new. It's not built on top of the old game, to my knowledge. It does keep the original gameplay, but there's a lot of stuff here that is done, quote-unquote, better. We'll definitely have to judge whether that's actually better or if it's just different when it comes out, but for all intents and purposes, it looks pretty sweet. This is the first major Metal Gear since Metal Gear Survive, and man, do I hope to see this game reviving the franchise. I would love to see new Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is landing on the PlayStations and PC August 28th. And finally, at number 1, it's Mafia: The Old Country. We haven't had a Mafia game in quite a while, and this one is just a total reimagining of what Mafia is. It takes place in 1900s Sicily. It is a prequel in every sense of the word. This is not a full open world game like Mafia 3. It is more Mafia 1 and 2. Yes, it's technically an open world, but no, it's not really an open world style. And I think that's a really good idea, because the thing that really separated Mafia from Grand Theft Auto, and the thing that made it worth existing even, was that it was so much more cinematic in terms of its feel and pace. Not that Grand Theft Auto wasn't. There was just a grandness to Mafia that I think going full open world kind of detracts from. You just have less control over the pacing. I'm excited for this one. It's one I've been waiting for quite a while, and also with Grand Theft Auto 6 delayed. This is prime time for Mafia: The Old Country. It's landing on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series on August 8th. I do have a bonus game for you. It's Black Myth Wukong coming to the Xbox Series. I mean, this is just something that people have been waiting for a great deal. Black Myth Wukong is fantastic, pseudo-Souls-like, but more action-packed, fast-paced, boss rush style. Maybe even hack and slash might be appropriate. I don't know if it's that fast, but it's debatable, and it doesn't really matter what it is. It just matters that it's good, and it's very good. Xbox players are certain to appreciate that.